Welcome back. This is going to be part 2. I needed to charge my phone and I figured it would just shut off anyway. And guys, I feel bad because this is going to be anticlimactic. I cut it and I was putting my wedges in there to make sure it didn't fall on me, and it just fell over. I didn't even get my camera set up. Let me show it to you, show you how big this sucker is. So this is the piece that Barbara shared on me. You can see that chunk of branch sticking out there, or bark. And I was up, so I cut it off here, but there's about 3 foot of it that Barbara shared. And I was lucky because it was up there. I was on the, might be your right side, but it was my left side toward the house in a lift. And I could not get to the back side of it to notch it. So I just thought, well, the way it's leaning, I'll just cut it. Well, this was the part on this side facing away from the house. And it started splitting, and I was like, crap, I'm in the wrong place for this. I was on the left, I couldn't go anywhere. But fortunately, it just went a few feet and snapped off. But look at the size of this sucker. I didn't even realize how big it was. I mean, that's almost 5 foot across right there, guys. That's 2 trees grown together or more. I don't even know. Well, this is a 4 foot. I think this is a 4 foot pry bar. Let's see how a 4 foot pry bar looks on there. Man, that thing is heavy. Once it started tipping, it just went. So that's 4 feet. So this part right there is 4.5. You get up here a little further, you know, you got that huge, oh, it's almost 3 foot across there, and this one's 2 foot across. That is one big chunk of wood. I'm going to leave it at that because everything else is just about too big to cut off. And I'm just going to let it grow each spring like this. It'll look more like a bush than a tree. But the base of it is 6 foot across, and there's no way I'm going to get it cut off. I could hire somebody to cut it off and hook a chain to it and pull it over this way, but then what? They'd have to cut it up into 16-inch pieces so I could split it. How do you handle something that's 6 foot across? Oh my gosh, this thing is huge. Look at the base of this. No wonder I was having so much fun. It's 3 foot across. There's my notch on that side. It took some doing. This wood is wet and it cuts a little bit hard. Not like an oak tree would, but I guess I cut further through than a third of the way. That's why it fell so easily. I cut it almost about halfway, almost a little past half, so I got a little carried away with my notch, although my notch doesn't look that deep. Anyway, guys, I'm sorry you didn't get to see it fall. I'm trying to look at the ground around here where it hit. Well, there's where it hit. I notched it on the top because I figured if I notched it on the bottom, it would fall over and hit here and then go that, you know, go toward the tree, and I didn't really want that. But let's back this thing out a little bit. Yeah, that left a 2 foot hole in the ground where it hit, and it hit and rolled over that way. I moved everything out of the way that I thought could possibly get hit by it because I didn't want to damage anything or have an accident. This is one of those I cut off. I was going to try to make something out of it, but my wife convinced me to cut it into 16-inch rounds, and we're just going to turn it into firewood. But one of these, I think it's all cut. Maybe it was this one. It went about 100 feet out over that way. And there was one out this way, a couple out that way, a couple way out that way. But at least it's going to look a little more presentable. Not have that middle finger sticking up there flipping me off all the time. Well, guys, I'm sorry you missed it. I really wanted to videotape that. I had no idea it was going to fall over so danged easy. But now it's over, and I can concentrate on maybe cutting it into firewood. The top part here I can do, but I don't know what I'm going to do about that middle part. I mean, I would have to go at it all the way around, somehow roll it over, and then I don't even know what to do. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Sorry you missed out on the climatic ending. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe. I'm going to be making another video on cutting firewood or splitting firewood. My neighbor across the street right there just cut down 2 big trees, and I don't know if you can see them, but there's a bunch of big rounds there, and there's some on the right and there's more on the other side of the fence. He's got a log splitter sitting there. It's called Dirty Hands. I think it came from Lowe's, and he wants $1,000 for it, including the wood. The problem with the wood is it's wet, and when they cut it in like 2-foot sections. So now I'm going to have to recut every piece to get 16 inches for firewood, or sell it for somebody for campfires, and they won't care if it's 2 feet. But most people don't want 2-foot chunks for their fireplace. That's why I cut all this up 16 inches. There's my last stack I just made out of part of this. I already sold 1 load out of that trailer. Back to there. And this time I tried to get it straight up and down, because first time I did it, got it all stacked up and boom, it fell over. So I learned you got to make sure you have solid ends and stack it straight up and down. Thanks for watching, guys.